and then being pushed a little bit harder. You lift a little bit more. You do a few more lifts when someone else is motivating you. You do a little bit more weight. If you're committed and you're willing to put in the time, it's going to make everything better in your life.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Dana, and yeah, good to have you here. And thanks for us being able to share your story and what you've accomplished at NorthStar, but also, I know you lead a pretty busy life. In fact, I wanted to just ask you, so as I was kind of reflecting, obviously my wife's in the healthcare industry, and you're in the healthcare industry.
Yep.
Maybe just lead a little bit on, your background, who you are, what your fitness level,
Sure.
Where you've been.
So, grew up in high school, always played sports, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, things like that. And I was a good high school athlete, and I was lucky enough to play baseball in college. And I always liked studying and learning. And so from college, I went to medical school, and from medical school residency, and then came here and started working. I got married right out of college, had a kid within 10 and a half months, so never really had much free time. I studied, played with the kids, basically through probably 5-10 years ago. As my oldest got older, I started, Janela wanted him to put on some weight and lift some weight, so I started doing that with him. He never really caught on and did it. You can see him, he's a really scrawny kid still. But then I started working out, and I kind of did my own thing, no real structure to it. I bought a Bowflex and used that for lifting, and then we had a bike in the basement, and then an elliptical, and kind of did that when I could and tried to schedule it. And and then once my kids got grown up and moved out of the house, then I had more time for myself to do it, and I still tried to stay motivated and do some of it. Again, not a really good structure. I don't think it had much order to it. Kind of looked things up online. Janela, my wife, has a lot more free time, so then she started working out with some other group. She was doing that a couple of times a week, and then she heard about this, and so she just signed me up. And I always had 2 hours. Always got done early on Wednesdays. So then
the wives always know what's best for
she always pushes me in the right direction. So then I signed up here, or she signed me up, and right when you first started, I think, and then I've done it every Thursday night for 5 years, I guess.
Now you're a busy healthcare professional, and one of the things that I've found is that that's the demographic that's one of the hardest hit as far as being able to stay fit and healthy, because the time demands, they're heavy time demands. It's oftentimes irregular schedule, different stresses. In your case, kids on top of it, and varying ages. And how have you found that NorthStar has helped you in, be able to create a consistent pattern of exercise?
Well, obviously every Wednesday I have this, and I've always been a hiker. The last 5 to 10 years, a friend and I from college, again, once we were done with the kids, we were talking about hiking, doing the Appalachian Trail, but we said that's crazy, 6 months, could never get that time off. So then there's a trail in Colorado, 500 miles. So we broke that up into segments over 6 years and did that. So once a week 1 week a year, we do about 60 to 100 miles a year in the mountains in Colorado. And then I started walking around here to get in shape for that. So I hike Hickson Forest a lot. And around our neighborhood, I go by your house at least 3-4 times a week, check on the chickens, check on the kids.
The chickens let you.
So no, I hike on a regular basis. I try and get 20 to 40 miles a week of that now, and this every Wednesday. And eventually when I work less, I think I'll do this at least 2 or 3 times a week. I like the structure. I like the motivation. So I really enjoy coming. But just trying to grind out one other day per week, it just doesn't work with the schedule.
Yeah, I don't have really a lot of time. As we get older, right? There's we kind of think about staying in fitness is what we were back when we were younger, but what would you say some compounding factors are as you age that everybody faces?
Well, I think everybody faces you lose a little bit of muscle mass, you don't sleep as well. Um, I think you start eating like your kids when your kids are growing up. 2 bowls of cereal every morning, a bowl of cereal before you go to bed at night, snacks around that you can eat. Once the kids moved out, all that moved out, and then I tried to eat less, but not really smart. And I think the one thing that you've added here is we have those challenges that you know limit alcohol, which is easy for me. I don't drink, but then adding in protein, added hydration. I've always been a really good hydrator. Um, I used to drink more soda. Now it's just mainly water. So I think some of those challenges, on how to make ourselves more healthy, stay more focused on what we do. It's hard, sometimes you say 100 grams of protein. It's hard to eat 100 grams of protein. And I skip some meals, but now I still try and get the nutrition in that I need, which I think I'm much better at now than I was before.
Yeah. What have you noticed in your everyday life? It would be performance or from just consistency. How you
Oh,
feel? How have
well,
you? How could you explain what you've been
oh.
able to experience?
I mean, I've always been a very positive person. Everybody says, "How are you doing?" I say, "Always good." I don't have bad days. I mean, the kids would probably rile Janella up a lot more than me, but I really enjoyed raising kids. I always had a lot of energy. I think as you get older, that energy becomes less. And by staying on a focused schedule, good balanced diet, trying to get the right amount of sleep, less caffeine. Again, it's easy for me. I don't drink alcohol, but limiting all those is going to make you more energetic and more focused. I mean, you get up at the same time, you go to bed at the same time, roughly.
Quite often we rely on our ability, like our motivation to be able to go exercise. And what I think what you're saying is that if you create a regular routine, you're able to. It's
Yeah.
something a lot more sustainable.
Yeah, and it's not a chore to go exercise. It's just what I do every Wednesday afternoon. I would feel odd if I didn't do it.
Yeah. So
And again,
you
I
almost
hike
miss it.
every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 of those 4 days, I do a good hike. So yeah, I feel odd if I don't do it. Even in the winter when it's 10 below, I still go out and hike. I just bundle up and go.
Yeah.
Cover up.
What has NorthStar helped you the most in your health and fitness journey?
I think again, it's just the focus and the consistency, and then being pushed a little bit harder. You lift a little bit more. You do a few more lifts when someone else is motivating you. You do a little bit more weight. Um, you bike a little bit longer when you're sitting here. That you're always improving and improving. And I think when you're running your own program, you don't advance as easily as you do when someone else is guiding you.
Yeah. And what is it of our service that you've appreciated kind of the most that's really
Well,
speaks
positive
to you?
motivation. It's with Taylor now. I think she sits around all week trying to figure out how to work me a little bit harder. And again, I want her to work me hard. When I leave here, I want to be tired. I want to be a little sore the next day. I don't want to just make it by. I want to be pushed each time. And again, she does a good job of pushing me each time that I come here.
And it's tough too because your body will naturally get to plateaus where it feels like you kind of stagnate, and so being able to stay on top of and update
Yeah.
on a regular basis towards to what you need.
Yeah, and she
It's not
varies
always
the
an easy
routine.
task.
She always varies the routine, so it's not the same thing every time. Where when you're running your own program, a lot of times it's the same workout each time you do it, and she varies it up.
Yeah.
My core it's better now. It'll never be great, but it's much better, and that's something that I really didn't work on before when I was doing my own workouts.
Yeah, yeah. Now you've been hiking quite a bit. You've had some knee issues too.
I tore my meniscus a couple of years ago, and tried to do physical therapy and tried to lift. Couldn't hike during that time very much. Couldn't sleep at night. So then eventually, they kept on saying more physical therapy, more physical therapy. Finally, I said this isn't working. Got an MRI. They're able to clean out my knee. From the day after that, I was able to walk. I didn't push it too much, but then I was able to get back in my routine.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't think it ever stopped me from coming here and working out. I was still able to work around it. I just wasn't able to do any leg exercises, bending exercises, things like that. And then again, I've never had problems with it since.
Right. I remember he had, had quite a bit of adaptations to make sure they can,
Right.
work to keep that joint,
Yep. Change the
stabilized
routine,
and
yeah.
make sure, you
Yep.
don't lose atrophy in that process through
Yeah.
the rehabilitation and
Yep.
do it safely. So, well, tell us a story in your everyday life that you've noticed a difference.
Well, I'm not tired when I get up in the morning. I'm generally somewhat tired when I go to bed at night. I don't fall right asleep like some people, but again, by working out and staying in shape, I think it's easier to go to sleep, easier to get up. I think one story, the turnarounds that I see are people that have never worked out here, and then they come here and they start working out 2 or 3 times a week. There's a person that was not in very good shape, and he decided he wanted to turn his story around. He came here 3 days a week, and within 3 months, he looked so much better. And after 6 months, he looked so much better. It's amazing that if you're committed and you're willing to put in the time, it's going to make everything better in your life.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's, on the fence, or they may have heard about it, maybe they're too busy, maybe, a colleague or something says, I can't find the time. What would you say to
Well, I
to
just
them?
say I have that 1 day a week. You just have to figure out what day that is. And it's easier when your kids are out of the house. When your kids are little, it's hard to find any time. But again, you can always find half an hour once a week. You just have to be committed and work it into your routine, early in the morning, at lunch. I do it on the afternoon that I get done an hour early at work. I'm, in the evening one time. Again, you just have to be committed to that 1 day a week. And again, it's easier when you have little kids running around. Nick has 7. I only had 6. I only had 3. So, and you're here all the time, so it's amazing.
Yeah.
Once you're able to do that, and then it's a good example for your kids to see that they see you're working out too.
Yeah. No, it's a huge example for what I found. One of the biggest benefits too is just being that example, not only for your colleagues, your peers, but your family as well. I mean, they learn more by watching what you do, and if you're able to stay fit and healthy, they're going to go through their own phases in life, but they're going to definitely face that one day where it's like your body just doesn't operate like you.
It's time to put the work in.
Yeah, awesome. I guess the only other question I had is, what is important to you in a program?
Well, what's important to me is for whoever's working me out to give me a good balanced workout, to work the whole system, push me to my edge each time that I come in, work me hard.
To be challenged.
I want to be challenged every time. And again, even when I'm working out, if it's not enough weight, I say you need to up it up a little bit. And sometimes it's up for me. I don't have to ask. So again, I don't know how it's progressed, but it's progressed quite a bit since I started here. And the programs have progressed here too. Used to be more machine workouts, and now it's more resistance training. And again, they work different areas of your body every week and don't overwork one area, which again I think is a problem when you're doing your own workouts.
Right. Yeah, you're actually one of the specimen that as we went through this and we adapted our program, we realized that really you can become very, very strong in certain aspects, and at that point, then what's next?
What's next?
Right?
Yep.
And so that actually led us to really look at making sure that we've got a continual progression towards activating a different part of the muscle, a different part of the body, or muscles in a different way, and keep it going. You've done great.
You've been a guinea pig.
Yeah, and you're still going on.
It's still going. Yeah, you're
yeah.
stuck with me. Yeah.
No, you're doing great. You look great. Keep up your good example for others. So keep up the good work.
Great. Thanks,
All
Nick.
right. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks.